Hey, it's Pulse, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use macOS to format a USB drive for use in a Pioneer DJ or AlphaTheta product, whether it's a CDJ, DJM, XDJ all-in-one, or one of our samplers, and whether you're using that USB drive to store sample audio, a Rekordbox library, or to use it as a firmware update device. Now, macOS has a couple more options than the Windows users do when it comes to formatting drives. So it's important to understand the difference in these formats and why you might use one over another. So let's first take a look at the disk utility, which you can find in the Applications and Utilities folder in the macOS. And when you first open it up, it might look like this. Now you've got your internal and your external drives. Here I can see I have a USB drive connected, and you can see that it lists up here, gives you some of the properties. But one thing that's missing here is that this is a volume. This is not the physical drive itself. And you want to be able to format the drive and not the volume, because think of this as a container within the box. If I go to erase this, I'm only able to choose the format. But what's missing is the partition scheme. So if I go to show all devices, you can now see these parent items open up. And now I'm looking at the actual drive itself as opposed to the volume. So if I go here to look at the erase options, I now have a format, which is what I had before, as well as the scheme. Now, so I can choose master boot record, GPT, which is a GUI partition map, or Apple partition map. Now, if you're going to format the drive for use as a firmware updater, you want MS-DOS, which is FAT32, and master boot record. Now I'm going to label this drive to something that I can recognize it as. So I'm going to label it as a SanDisk, and I'm going to call it FAT32. Now be forewarned, there is no other warning to stop you from formatting this drive once you click erase. It doesn't say, hey, are you sure? It's going to wipe this drive. So make sure you have selected the correct drive and that you are okay to wipe it. So if I click erase, you can see it actually performs the erase, and it only takes a second. And now we're done. So now we have a drive that's been formatted FAT32, master boot record. This one is ready to update firmware or to use with any of our products as an actual storage device. But if you're only ever living in Mac, I'm going to recommend that you actually go and format this drive as macOS extended journaled with a GUID partition map. The reason for this is a macOS, which is HFS Plus, is a little bit more resilient than the old FAT32 file system. This gives us a little bit better protection against corruption of files if you were to remove the drive while it was in use reading or writing a file, and gives you a little bit faster transfer speeds as well. Now, if you're only ever using on a Mac, that's fine. If you do want to go and use it with a PC, you want to use one of these two formats, either exFAT or MS-DOS FAT. And the reason for that is that unless you're installing some third-party tools, an HFS drive cannot be read in a PC. So you could use exFAT, and that's fine because exFAT is similar to HFS Plus in that it's got some better support for like I said, the resiliency. The only problem is that exFAT is limited to the products listed here. So the CDJ 3000, Opus Quad, Omnis Duo, XDJ XZ, XDJ RX3, and the XDJ AZ, which is not listed because this was last updated May 2024. So those products are what support exFAT, but all of the products will actually support the Mac OS formatted drive. So if you choose to stick with the Mac and you choose Mac OS, this one's perfect for using in the players. However, it will not update firmware. So again, if you're updating firmware, you want to choose MS-DOS FAT with master boot record. But if you're playing for just using it as a regular drive for your Rekordbox collection, Mac OS Extended, and you can use the GPT. So I'm going to change the name here. And now I'm going to hit erase. And now my drive is formatted and ready for use in any of our products. That's it. Very easy to format here in macOS. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.